Welcome. This is Seth here, business and spiritual consultant. Um, so my last video was supposed to be my last video. Um, I don't know if you guys saw it. Um, but I guess not. This is not the first time I do this. I'm always trying to quit YouTube, but it's like apparently it's like drugs. You can't stop. Once you start, you can't just stop. Um, so what happened was I've noticed that some people don't want to leave me alone. So since they don't want to leave me alone, they don't want to, just let me be. I'm gonna come back on here and do what I do best. Be me, basically. So I didn't watch the news recently. I don't have uh I mean, I did watch the news, but when I say I didn't watch the news, I didn't pay attention to the news. Like, I didn't take any notes. I'm aware of what's going on, but I'm like, you know, you know what I feel like. Because the thing is, I don't really, like, people say Alex Jones was wrong about Sandy Hook. Uh, I don't believe that he was wrong about Sandy Hook. I don't believe that he was wrong about Sandy Hook at all. I think it was a false flag event. I think that they do cause multiple false flag events per day. Um, and if not to say per minute. Because mind you, um, this is the reason why some of us compare our lives to the Matrix. Because we're aware that something ain't right. You see, now, some people might not know or might not understand that these shadow governments are causing minute per minute accidents on purpose to keep you in a fearful state, and we compare these events as happenings. And when I say happenings, I mean when you end up in a place and the situation changes. You see, the thing about the Matrix that I like so much is that the agents don't come in a car, you know? The agents ain't the police. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, the agents ain't the police, because the Matrix could have been a movie. You gotta understand, the Matrix could have been a movie where the agents, like any other movie, would use vehicles in order to get to where the protagonist is, the hero of the story. But see, in the Matrix, they did it a little bit different. The agents are everywhere. Minute per minute attacks. Minute per minute attacks. Some of us understand that some of these events are false flags. and we just go about our day, you know. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people truly believe that these horrible acts are being committed in real life. And they are indeed horrible acts. This is the reason why you don't like it. That's the reason why it affects you. That's the reason why it gives you emotions. And that's the reason why you're being controlled. But of course, there's a lot of people that don't care. There's a lot of people that don't care either. There's a lot of people that really, couldn't care less. And that's not good either. Because just like in the Matrix, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You know? The agents are everywhere. You see, if you stay asleep, you stay asleep. But you gotta understand, if you stay asleep, if you're the kind of person that stays asleep, you're the kind of person that the agents can use. So that means I can't sit next to you. That means I can't sit by you. I can't really roll with you. Because you are susceptible to change. So the amazing thing is they actually caught on to that. The amazing thing is they actually caught on to that. They didn't make the agents come in a car just like any old movie. No, they can enter anybody's body. So these false flags, man, these false. I've been thinking about that because I'm seeing Alex Jones uh, doing a comeback um, in the media. So and I was thinking about it because every time I've noticed this for quite some time now, and this is obvious. I'm stating the obvious here, but I've noticed that it's repeated multiple times. Every time they mention his name, that he was right about multiple things, but they specifically target that he was wrong about Sandy Hook. Now, mind you, Sandy Hook, if you do a little bit of research online, there are multiple videos, analysis showing that they were using crisis actors at the Sandy Hook event. Because the Sandy Hook event was only one of the multiple false flag events that was happening during the time of 2017, 2018, 19, 20. So for the past 6 years, they've been committing, they've been putting false flag events in the news to put people in a state of alert. Now they got everybody running scared. Everybody's scared. You're scared to go outside, scared to go, Walmart, scared to go everywhere. Even I'm cautious about where I go. To be quite honest, even I'm cautious about where I go because shit really got people acting crazy out here. Nuts. the funny thing is, there's always that one guy. Like there's always that one guy that's kind of like, well, it's not real. Of course it's true. Blah 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 blah. Why do you like that, bro? Stop. Like that one guy that it doesn't matter what you tell him, it doesn't change shit. You just won't believe. And the sad part is, that you start with a conspiracy, but this is not. You have to understand that what we're living in right now. This is Indiana Jones. This is Indiana Jones shit. See, this is what you got to do in your life. You wake up, you go on an adventure, and you find an artifact, and that artifact gives you power. That is your life. That is your everyday life. That's literally supposed to be your everyday life. That's what you're supposed to do. And what I mean by that is, what I'm talking about here is actually conspiracies. You see, there's a reason why these guys are doing this to you. There's a reason why they're doing that to you. They're not doing it. I mean, you can say, oh, well, if they're doing it, it's just for money. Yeah, but you could get money anywhere. You could get money anywhere, bro. Like, you could get money anywhere. Like, they already have money. They already have more money than you could possibly imagine for hundreds of years. Money has been in the same hands for generations. For generations and generations, money has been flowing through the same hands. And when I'm talking about money, I'm talking about like oil, or gold, shit like that. Country, like GDPs, money. That kind of money is not any kind of money. That kind of money is not any kind of money. It's a specific kind of money. It's a role. It's not just about money. It's a role that you have to take. So, the first man comes around. He goes on an adventure, finds an artifact. Another guy comes around, finds an artifact. Now, all the guys that have artifacts band up together and like, yo, we're going to keep these artifacts, and we're not going to let anybody else touch these artifacts. So we got to come up with a system. We got to come up with an alarm system. We got to come up with a security system so that nobody touches these artifacts. Flash forward a couple thousand years later, you got a thing called conspiracy theories. People talking about aliens landing on Earth, which I do believe that might, that could happen. That can be a thing. I've seen some shit. I've seen some things here and there. But yeah, the alien conspiracies. Sorry about that. Because alien conspiracies, what kind of conspiracy? FBI conspiracies, governmental conspiracies, things of that matter. Conspiracies involving surveillance over the public eye, having a public eye over society and everything. CCTV cameras and hijacking computer systems to listening to your phone calls and blah blah blah. All that leads to somewhere. And some might say, "Oh, well, it's state security, man. It's for state security and stuff like that." Well, okay, yeah, maybe. In some cases, but give me a second here. Yeah, in some cases, in some cases, uh, it might be a cause of state security. You don't want information to come out, but then again, it's not the only conspiracy that's out there. Like I say, we have like satanic cults ruling over the world, people doing rituals and videos and awards and things like that. And the thing about conspiracies, is that they actually stem from a piece of literal truth. Conspiracies don't stem from fiction. Conspiracies stem from truth, whatever that truth may be. So, people that don't care, as I was saying before, people that don't really care, or people that don't understand why they should care, these people don't understand that some of us are actually aware of the things that are being kept secret. Some of these people don't understand that there are some of us that understands these secrets. So since we understand, we got like you can't give wine to swine, like we have to find a way to bring you to the water. We have to find a way to bring you to the water without you noticing that you're going towards the water. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, you're not going to believe somebody. If somebody tells you, I found an artifact that turns me invisible and now I can just, I can rob banks and shit. You're not going to believe that guy. He might be telling the truth, but you're not going to believe him, because it sounds absurd. So, what had happened is that people are losing things that they are not aware that they are losing. And this conformity, because the problem is conformity here. The problem is conformity has comfortability in it. Conformity has comfortability in it. So people conform because they are comfortable when they conform. So now the thing is, now it becomes a debate. It becomes a debate. Why does it become a debate? Because the nigga got a point. For real, like the nigga got a point. Like, why put yourself through all that trouble when you can just conform, do what everybody else does? Makes life a lot easier. You see, now my problem is, even though you have a point, my problem is something that most people in my position would not say. Because at this point, they would be very angry to speak to someone that wants to conform. So at this point, this person would not even continue on the conversation. But my problem with that notion is, even though you have a point in what you're saying, what I'm saying is the shit that's over here that they keeping is probably gonna make our lives a lot more easier than conformity. That's all I'm saying. But I'm also saying that maybe what's behind there shouldn't be in everybody's hands neither. Also, I'm starting to feel like that might be the case. You know what I mean? Because you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta crawl before you walk, man. You gotta have somebody to show you the ropes, to show you how it works, and so you don't fuck around. But I guess the new style now, the new style now is to go find out by yourself. Is the only thing we can do at this present time and moment, because people are incapable of hanging around other people. So since we're not in a time that we're supposed to hang around each other, and I suspect that a lot of people are interested more and more in the conspiracies that are happening right now, especially with celebrities, because now we got a celebrity going down every moment. And I told you guys, Puffy was going down. I told you guys, Puffy was going down. These dudes going down. Puffy's going down. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. And I'm pretty sure you heard all the egregious things. I mean, Cassie, the singer Cassie, recently filed a sexual assault charge case on him that they settled. She had a couple millions, but that don't matter. That's just the floodgates, because it don't matter. It's just the floodgates. You want to know why? Because 50 Cent is on his ass. And I know that sounds weird, but it's not that weird. When 50 says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Like, for real, like, when 50 says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So, like, it's not the first time that he does this. Like, when he say he's going to do a documentary about you, he's going to do a documentary about you. And he's not going to hold any punches. So and from whatever the character of 50 Cent is, and whatever the character of 50 Cent means, the only thing I know is history. And if I judge the future by looking at history, which is what any wise man would do, you would know that when 50 says you're going down, you're going down. you know, and I'm not trying to like sensationalize the guy or giving him any props or anything. It's not that. It's just if you look at his career and what he did and what he's done and how he did it, that's what he does. You know, so now for I don't know what reason, 50 said he was gonna take down Puffy. And that's what he's doing. And Cassie is just because some people might feel like, well, what the fuck? She took the fucking settlement. Like, what the fuck is that? No, you don't understand. That was just a warning shot. That was just like that was not like that was a flesh wound. That was not a warning shot. That was a flesh wound. That was just like it was a flesh wound warning shot. That's what that was. That was just and then he said, you know, and then 50 said, you know, you better get ready because if you don't know, let me tell you because I looked it up. You know, I checked it out. So if you don't know, you know, 50 also said that after that incident that he should probably, you know, check out in all of his businesses. And the day after, um, you know, before the trial started, he said, you know, all them sexual assault cases gonna come out now. You better, you know, you better retire. And that's exactly what Puffy did. He actually retired from. He's not the chairman of Revolt, so he stepped down as chairman of Revolt TV, which is a social media platform for podcasts and whatnots. Um, so that happened. Um, and I'm very surprised. I don't know, like I say, because I'm a firm believer of the Matrix. You know, I believe that everything is fake and whatnot, and so on and so on. You know, but um, there are some characters that needs to exist on this planet. You know, regardless of what I think or of my opinion or the reality that I believe that I live in. So I must respect the certain characters that live on this planet and do the certain things that they do, you know. So with that said, um, it's a very interesting case that, you know, 50 all of a sudden decided that, you know, 50, Puffy was going down. I do believe that it was it's a coordinated attack. I do believe it's a coordinated attack. I do believe that it's just his time to go. I believe that his time has run up. And now it's time for him to pay the Reaper. You know, however he's gonna pay for it. I don't know if he's gonna go to jail or they're just gonna, like, you know, take his assets and everything or leave him broke or something. I don't know, or they might fucking murder him. It happens a lot. You know, so very interesting times. You know, Donald Trump running for president again, and I think he's gonna win by a landslide. Especially after the catastrophe that's called Joe Biden. You know, that's obvious. You know, like that's just plain old obvious. You know what else? What else? It's interesting times. Interesting times. Interesting things are happening. Uh, you know, so to go back to what I was saying, minute per minute attacks are being orchestrated on a daily basis to instill fear in society, just like in the medieval times. Just like in the medieval times, being orchestrated to control people, to control the masses, to control your movements, to control your aspirations, to control your imagination, to control your creativity, to control your successes, plural, Every time somebody tells the truth, there's somebody that comes around and starts causing slander. Controlling your successes. I don't believe talking about a man talking about another man is a success. But when a person comes along, there is a problem, says the truth, and your answer is to say that this person is like this and like that, or he's never been this, he's never been that, or he never did this, never did that. When this person is only trying to rectify a falsehood that is the control of people's successes. And on top of that, you have gatekeepers at every level of society, in every business in society. Not every level, but yeah, you can see it that way. You can see it like yeah, there's gatekeepers at every level of society that will only let their own people in and other people out. Controlling your successes because not everybody can conform. Not everybody is a conformity. Is a conformist. You know, there's a thing that you see on YouTube. They talk about sigmas, sigma male. There's alpha male, there's beta males, and then there's sigmas. Sigmas are always alone. Then, like the alpha male might be alone too, but sigmas are specifically alone. You know, because alpha males can hang around in groups and they'll be the leader of the pack. But sigma males are like alpha males, but without a pack. You know, so, and I believe that there's a space in life for people like that. Because I consider myself more of a sigma male than an alpha male. Some people would consider me an alpha male, but I see myself a little bit like a sigma male. I don't necessarily need a pack, you know. But if I am in a pack, I'll be one of the heads or the head of the pack. That's for sure. You know, like, you know, so, and there's nothing wrong with that because I respect your business, but here is my business. You know, and I have the right to have my own thing. You know, I mean, it's not a bad thing to have your own thing. There's nothing wrong with having your own thing. And now we're living in a world where it's wrong to have your own thing. How can that be? You're not hurting anybody. It's not, you're not damaging nothing. You're helping out if there's anything else, you know, more than anything else. You're contributing to the society, to the mainframe. You're part of the mainframe too. You're still within it. You're not working outside of the bounds of it. So what could possibly be the problem? And yet there is one. And yet there is one. Minute per minute attacks on you. Not on Hollywood actors or, you know, I don't know, children in Africa. No, on you. This is happening to you right now as we speak. There's people that still consider CNN as a viable news source. That's absurd. CNN is not a viable news source. I don't watch the news. Like I said before, I don't watch the news. And there's no, as of right now, there's no real reason to watch the news. Shit. I just heard that they were gonna put back Wesley Snipes as Blade. You know, I don't know if he can pull it off. He's still young though. I don't know if he can pull it off. If he can pull it off, that'd be dope. I ain't gonna lie. Shit. But I know they're gonna fuck it up somehow. Like, and I can't wait to see how they fuck it up this time. Like, I can't wait to see how they're gonna fuck it up, man. They're gonna put the old Blade in the new MCU. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that gonna work. Cause the old Blade's a badass. The old Blade was dark, man. It was dark as fuck, man. It's gonna be weird if they CG. Cause if they, I don't know if it's nostalgia. All I know is if you saw Blade from the '90s, from early 2000s, '90s and shit, uh, and then you put Blade in, I don't know, let's say Hulk, uh, no, Thor, Ragnarok. I don't know if y'all saw that, but if y'all saw that, Thor Ragnarok was crazy. Like there was like bright colors everywhere, lots of pink, lots of bright colors, like very very bright. It was very bright. I don't. It's gonna look weird. The CG I'm gonna feel like the CG ain't working right. Like, cause I just don't see him in that sort of setting. It's just weird. Like you got the club scene and everything, and and then he ends up in outer space with his boots, and his fucking jacket, and his fucking sword. And it's just it's gonna be weird because he doesn't have his standalone movie. Because now the problem with Blade is, which is never gonna happen, because Hollywood is racist, and they're hung up on fucking up our brains. But what would really be cool, what would have been cool, would have been like a standalone movie before a actual like reunion with the group, like at least one, no, at least two. Like maybe not the third one. Could be like, okay, there's Captain America, and in the third one you can add like Captain America and some shit, like the whole team, like make it a team movie, a team Blade movie, whatever. But at least two movies where it explains how he gets his ass from being this like underground vampire killer to fucking multiverse villain hunter thingy, like before that happens. I'm just saying it'd be a lot more. It'd be a lot cooler. It'd be a lot cooler, get Blade back, one movie, then bam, you hit the number there. But anyway, but then I don't think there was any contract built with Wesley Snipes, around that movie. So I don't think they're gonna, I severely doubt. There was supposed to be a standalone Blade movie with uh Urshala Ali. Uh, I don't know what happened. But apparently, the script was complete garbage, and they wanted to basically Black Panther Forever Blade 2. If you didn't see Black Panther Forever, basically Black Panther's dead. And it's just a bunch of women, and then there's a girl Black Panther, basically that take his place. I don't know if she really becomes Black Panther, or I don't know. I don't fucking know what that's about. It was it was a good movie, but it was very confusing. There was a lot happening at the same time. So anyways, because I don't want to diss the ladies. I don't want to be like, oh, the movie was trash because it was girls. No, it wasn't trash. The movie wasn't trash. It was just weird. It was just weird. To me, it feels disrespectful that he's dead. It feels disrespectful. I understand the actor died for real, but that's bullshit. Like that's literal bullshit. Like there's no reason why the actor dying would like disturb the franchise of the movie. Regardless if he's the favorite of all time, because even though nobody else could play that role except that dude that played the role, I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. Just there was supposed to be 3 movies. Find another actor and put him in the place of the guy that died. And the reason why give me a second here. Yeah, sorry about that. Um the reason why I feel it was disrespectful, it feels like, like there hasn't been a lot of black superhero movies, and a lot of people forgot about Blade. And it's not that people forgot about Blade, it's just Blade wasn't as mainstream as the superhero movies that are coming out right now. So idealistically, when people heard that they were gonna put a black superhero in all of the shit that's going on right now with the Iron Man and the Superman, blah 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 blah, people got excited. But the thing is, I was smarter. I knew something was up. Like I knew something was up. I knew something was up. I didn't know what, but I knew something was up. Because let's face it, people always getting their hopes up for something and then they get disappointed. And that's just how life goes. But for some reason, people keep hoping for a different result. You know what I mean? Bro, like, because when's the last time black people had any form of real standing, importance in a superhero movie or even an action movie? Usually in action movies, the black guy dies first. In horror movies too. That's the main rule. The main rule of if you want to make a good horror movie, if you want to make a good horror movie, you gotta make sure that the black guy dies first. So me understanding that knowledge, you know, me understanding that knowledge and watching this movie, hearing the news that they were gonna do Black Panther, I immediately thought, they're gonna fuck us in the ass. Like they're gonna do some stupid shit. Get fucking ready. You know what I mean? Because these motherfuckers love killing Jesus. That's the thing that people don't understand. These motherfuckers love killing Jesus. So, if you don't know what that means, you'll understand later, or I'll tell you later. Um. Anyways, so I knew something was gonna be up. So evidently, black director and black main lead. Movie did relatively okay. There was some controversial aspects and some controversial issues, which I always had a problem with when I heard about Wakanda in the comics, because I already like this is, like I always had an issue with Black Panther and Wakanda. Um, so and I guess that was the point. I guess the point of Black Panther was to cause an issue regardless, because at the end of the day, it's still a thing that's going on right now in actual society. There's a minority portion of society that has all the resources, and and everybody else are struggling. Like everybody else is surviving. So anyways, regardless, did relatively well. Brung up some important points. Uh, People were on the fence if they liked T'Challa or Warmonger. Uh, Very interesting. I must admit, I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't ready to celebrate just yet. I wasn't ready to celebrate just yet, because the first movie was okay. The first movie was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. But now let's see if he can do it again. Producer gets fired. As I had predicted in my videos, I had said it before, right? Because I told you guys they were gonna do a first movie with a black director, and the second movie they were gonna find some bullshit story. They were gonna fucking fire the black director, get a white director in, and that's exactly what they did. And the second movie, meh. It was okay, I guess. Then he dies. So it was just they don't replace the actor. Now you have a franchise. Now you have to understand, this could be literally one of your first black franchises, movie black franchises. So this could span like 10 movies. No, people don't think about that. Hold up. People don't think about that. Think about it for 2 seconds. This is his first movie. Avengers, Captain America, that's not his first movie. Captain America had movies back in the 70s. Captain America had movies back in the 70s. Captain America had movies back in the 80s. And now he has another movie. Iron Man, that's his first movie. Iron Man, that's the first movie. But you got like franchises like Star Wars. Big franchise, like what else? What else? You had Thor. Thor has like 4 movies, and he's in like 5 or 6. So, anyways, like Batman, Superman, there's a lot of big movie franchises with characters that are recurring, especially in superheroes. Now, the thing is, for black superheroes, we don't have a recurring franchise superhero that we like, So of course people were excited. Makes sense. But people were too excited. They were too excited because they forgot all of the shit that happened before that time. Black people are very forgiving people. You know, black people are very forgiving people, man. Like, you know, they forgot all the shit that happened before that time. They just people were dancing in the street when they heard they was gonna do a Black Panther movie. They were grateful for black people were grateful for a black superhero movie, even though they had no idea who the fuck Black Panther was. You know, and now Black Panther is even more. By the way, if you don't know, Black Panther has officially become a very respected superhero in the comic book community. You know, like so because of the movies, Black Panther's popularity has skyrocketed since its debut uh back in the 70s, you know, back in the 70s and 80s. Uh, so, minute per minute attacks. We are constantly being flooded with news of injustices, racism, war, famine, terror, threats. Oh yeah, this just in. There might be a nuclear. This is warmongering. This is fear mongering and warmongering. So I've heard recently there's been an emergency late night broadcast of China, I think, preparing for nuclear warfare. They said that last year Donald Trump went over there. He shook I don't remember the Chinese president's name. He shook his hand, and then he said, you know, chillax with the nuclear devices. He's like, okay, you know what? Maybe you're right. Okay, let's shake hands. And then Donald Trump came back home. Everything was all right. I don't know what's the premise this time. It was a late night emergency broadcast. I was just chilling, and I got a random late night emergency broadcast appear yesterday. I think, like, not yesterday, but the day before, Saturday. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I think so. The Friday or Saturday, I received a emergency broadcast on my cell phone, and it's like a video showing, talking about like a drone or a plane that was shot down that has nuclear capabilities, and because of that they suspect that China is preparing for nuclear warfare. Okay. Minute per minute attacks. So you're constantly being bombarded. Like, you're constantly being bombarded. There's always something happening. There's always something happening. There's always something happening. Now, you mind you, if you're a person that minds his own business, doesn't watch the news a lot, you might not feel that affected by world events. There are people that are like that. But the thing is, the problem with that is when you are doing a routine, now you become, it's like, I don't want to discourage people from taking care of themselves and taking care of what they have to take care of. But you have to understand If you do every day, you do the same thing every day like a robot, man, you're killing your soul. You're killing your soul. If you do the same thing every day consistently without any rest, like, you're killing your soul. You become what people would call a tool. Not to be insulting, but that's literally what you become. You become a cog in a machine. You become a consistent, self replenishing energy source for the company that you work for. And promotion after promotion, it'll never be enough. At the end of the day, if we do not change the system that we live in, it doesn't matter how high you climb in the ladder, you will remain nothing but a cog in a system. So the question is it okay to break free? The question is it okay to break free? Well, to be quite honest, I would say it depends on the individual. At this point, at this point, I wouldn't say that my fate has been shaken by recent events, but it doesn't hurt to be cautious. Hmm? Let's just be honest. Pardon my language, Lucifer, but let's be honest here. It is not a bad thing for people to be cautious. You can't ask somebody not to be careful about what he's doing. You can't. It is only normal. So, this is why we have grown into this kind of secret society behind the secret society. We're kind of like a secret society because you don't have a choice because they're everywhere. So now we're in a position where we can only send messenger pigeons to the ones that are like us. And we can only hope that they receive the message. We can only hope that they receive the message, man. Like, so, minute per minute attacks. Oh, give me a second here. I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry there. I needed a bathroom break. So, man, minute per minute attack. Um, so we're dealing with agents. We're dealing with agents. We're dealing with agents. These people are agents. We have there's agents that are actively working. Sentinels. They're actively working to build the mainframe, to build the society up the way they wanna ship and shape it. And then you have other agents. Their job is to make sure people stay in line. And there's other agents that act up when you start to act up. You know what I mean? So the thing is, the question now is, should I be afraid or should I be happy? Both. 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 Like, for real, both. Um, you should have a healthy amount of fear, which would equate to the word respect towards these uh entities, these sentinels, these agents. But the thing you must understand, just like in the Matrix, they will never be as strong or as fast as you in the Matrix, Neo. They're not. They're not. But how could that be? Damn, I'm gonna have to go get some water. Give me a second. So, as I was saying, the question is, should I fear or should I be happy? Well, you should be happy. You should have a healthy fear of them, a certain amount of respect, or a certain amount of fear. Um, that certain amount is just the correct amount that's not gonna make you do something crazy. Just that amount, and that's it. And then you should be happy because if you go above and beyond those conspiracies, that means if you actually dig as deep as you can go, you will come out the other end, my friend. Not all of us. It's dangerous, but there's a lot of people that will. And it's not a bad thing to ask for help from time to time. You can't come across information that's like that blows over your mind. Like it just okay, that's just too much, you know? Like so it doesn't hurt to ask for help from time to time. So um so you should be happy because of that, because there's power behind it. There's a reason why it's hidden. I mean, the other day I was watching a video, uh, and they were making a video about what's it called again? The gateway system. The gateway system. Apparently, it's a CIA document that actually proclaims to uh, give the secrets to what is actually God. It's a 28 page essay document. Well, not an essay, but a 28-page document about informative document about what they have discovered, what God truly is. There's a series of practices and tapes that come along with the document that people can find on YouTube and can actually practice. Now, mind you, I do believe that this information was released to the masses by the same people that once said it was a conspiracy. You know, because something that widespread, you would think a secret like that, they would keep it a little bit better than that, and it wouldn't be so easily achievably findable on YouTube. Um, so, anyways, but I remember that document is very old. Um, so I remember early '90s reading that document on the dark web. I had access to the dark web. I had a computer when I was a teenager, and I knew about the dark web, and I knew how to surf it. And that's one of the first documents that I did find on the dark web a long time ago. Um, so these tapes have recently come out in existence, and where was I going with this? Um, so these tapes came out recently, talking about the existence of God and stuff like that. And what was I saying before? Damn it, I completely lost. I completely lost track of where I was going with this. Yeah, we were talking about the Matrix and how the agents shift through reality and things like that, and how they keep certain people and certain levels of society, and how they watch us and everything, and they also implement systems and programs. As I was saying, yeah, that's what I was saying. Actually, that's what I was coming around to. They actually implement systems of programs that people don't even notice, actually, that they're actually like being programmed by a routine, a consistent trauma based um routine, basically, man. Because it is a trauma based routine. You don't pay your taxes, you lose your house. Like you don't pay your taxes, you lose your house, bro. Like, so it's pretty, it's very harsh. Um, so the other point I wanted to bring up was, yeah, no, that's what I was talking about, the happiness part, the reason why you should be happy about it. So yeah, so there's a lot of conspiracy theories you can find online, and then there's power at the end of the line. At the end, there's something being kept. There's a reason why all these documents hold are being kept secrets, and all these. There's so many conspiracies. There's like uh there's light speed. There's conspiracies about light speeds. There's even conspiracy theories about video games. How some companies are actually lacing the AI with alchemy and demonology, and lacing the AIs with demons, and and creating these video games. And I believe that's true because I'm a medium, and I believe that I'm a medium, and I believe I can speak to the dead, and I believe that I can speak to spirits. And I play video games, and it feels, and it's not just, I don't think it's even bold right now. It's even bolder right now than usually. Like, I don't believe like it's only mediums that will notice that these creatures that we're playing with have a life of their own, moderately within the constraints of the AI. Because some of these witches out here know what they're doing, and they could, when you know what you're doing, you could actually do that. You can't actually do that. You could constrain a spirit with a certain amount of power to a AI construct. You know, um, so there's a lot of conspiracies, but like I said, why are there so many conspiracies? And what's the point of a conspiracy theory anyway? Because a lot of people are interested in conspiracy theories, but they don't understand that they all lead to one space. And that space is called power. It's not just money. Because when you have power, you can get money. And when you have power, you do get money. So it's not just about money, it's about power too. So there's two major reasons why all of this is happening. Number one, money that everybody is aware about, that everybody understands, that nobody is going to discuss or have an argument with you about. Everybody is very aware that money is one of the main reasons why people commit crimes, why people are corrupted, why people do this and why people do that. Everybody knows that. But the other reasons that people are a lot less aware of is power. So the question is, what kind of power? Political power? No. I'm talking about spiritual powers. Spiritual powers. And nobody needs to tell you why. Nobody needs to tell you why they would hide these things. Because if these things actually exist, nobody needs to tell you why. Because you'd have too much power. For his taste. Not for mine. I didn't say for me. For his taste. I'm not the enemy here. I'm not the enemy here. And these guys got your people's minds so fucked up, y'all actually think that I'm the enemy. Instead of actually looking at the enemy, you're looking at the person that's not the enemy as the enemy. That's why some of us call these people agents. Because you switch on us. If we cross a certain barrier in the social agenda, rule sets, you will start to make people glitch. You will see the glitches in the matrix. You will see the matrix start to break down. The agents are everywhere. They don't come in cars. They're everywhere. And like I said before, that's the reason why I like this movie. There's so many things that you can integrate with what's going on right now. It's ridiculous. Beyond, above and beyond this, it's the new Bible. You know, like the Matrix is the new Bible. People should study the Matrix, man. People need to study the Matrix, the new Bible. Even the last movie, people need to study it. Even the last one. Even the last one. But it wasn't as good visually as the other movies, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hard to digest. It's kind of hard to digest. But there's a couple things going in there. You know, there's a couple things here and there. So, anyways, I don't need to tell you to boycott these actors. I don't need to tell you to boycott Hollywood. I don't need to tell you to do that. You already know. You already know. You already know. We need to stop watching these fucking movies. They need to stop making these fucking movies. They need to start going back home. People need to start to pack their bags and go back home. We need to start over. We need to restart. But the problem is here, even though they start making movies, the problem is still gonna remain. We're still gonna have. I mean, at least. No, there's no at least that it's not gonna change anything. Because the problem is, at least the no, there isn't at least the message won't spread as wide. You know, the message won't spread as wide. The ritual being done on your brain is not going to be as massive and as powerful. You know, because I understand what they're trying to do, but what they're trying to do is very hard. It's not easy. The human mind is more resilient than people give it credit for. Even the people being brainwashed are not completely lost to all of this. There's a lot of people that are brainwashed that'll wake up when they hear a certain truth or a certain event is gonna happen. It's a matter of time. And that's the thing. The thing about all this is it's a matter of time. Because you can't keep people down all of the time. And all of the time, people are down. What comes up must come down. You know what I mean? And what is down will eventually go up. So, it's just a matter of time. The first shall be the last, is what they say. So, interesting times are happening. I still believe people should be more inclined into finding out their powers of manifestation, because it's a very real thing. And there is many ways to manifest. And I believe people should look into it and find their style specific to their needs, on how to manifest. I did pull a video out that was relatively liked, I believe, on a technique to use thought form systems to manifest certain specific timelines into your reality. It did good. Statistically, it did good. View wise, it could do better, but statistically speaking, it did pretty good. Meaning, the people that watched the video watched it for a longer period than some of my regular videos, actually. So I'm happy about that. And I hope I'm gonna keep it there, and I hope that you guys actually practice it and try it for yourself and to see if it works. It doesn't take long. A couple days, and you should start noticing things. Of course, that's not true. Actually, Ice Breath Energy video is actually that's actually advanced. Um, I should have said that. That's actually an advanced technique. That's not true. So you're not gonna you're not gonna see effects after a couple of days. Well, maybe, but you have to really study that specific tutorial video in order to make that happen because it's a little bit more complicated than it looks. But it's easy to do. Like if you there's a workaround. There's a workaround. The workaround is if you believe that you have it, then you will have it, right? Like that's the workaround. The workaround for Ice Breath Energy, if you don't want to go down the whole process of studying freaking Vedic text, in Sanskrit, uh, obviously, you have to believe that you have Ice Breath Energy. You have to believe. Don't say Ice Breath Energy, by the way. Say I believe I have crystalline energy. 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 And the universe will understand what that means because the universe knows what crystalline energy is, and crystalline energy is the energy stemming from your throat chakra. All right. Um, so yeah, that's the workaround for that. And I decided that that's what that was, and since I am a god, and the universe will automatically understand that you're talking about my video, and will give you access to those powers. All right. There you go. There you have it. In a on a plate. Um, so did we learn something today? I think we did. I think we learned something today. This was very interesting. I'll be making more videos in the coming days. It's gonna get very interesting. It's gonna get very wild. So buckle up. It's gonna get bumpy. It's gonna get crazy. So we're gonna smash on them. We're gonna smash on them. I wasn't gonna smash on them, but didn't want to leave me alone. I'm trying to mind my own damn business, and they're not leaving me. They're not trying to let me mind my own business. So since they don't want to let me mind my own business, we're gonna smash on them, and we're gonna make him regret not leaving me alone. we gonna make him regret not leaving. We're gonna make him regret this decision. So let's huddle up. Let's saddle up. Let's huddle up, man. Let's get on that fucking defensive line and let's sack a motherfucker. Oh yeah, talking about defensive line. I don't know if y'all saw this Cat William interview. I saw the Cat William interview. Talking about Cedric the Entertainer and Kevin Hart. Uh, and Steve Harvey, and so he's out there, you know, you know, talking about the truth. But the thing is, what I'm curious about the Cat Williams situation is, the like, won't this just result in him going to jail again? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just because he lives over there. It's not like he's not over here. He's over there. So he's easy to get. And he's easy to get, and he's around these people. So it's kind of like, aren't you just kind of like putting yourself back in the same situation you was before? I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Cause Because the last time he was doing this, and then the whole thing happened. He went to jail, blah blah blah, made him look crazy, blah blah blah. So, but after that, he said, I don't like it, but I respect it. So and I'm feeling the same way. I don't like it, but I respect it a little bit. Like um. So I'm just like, won't that just come right back to the same situation again? Like won't that just make a repeat or something? Because you're so close to these guys. It's not like you're not far away. You're not in another country. You're not. You're touring with some of these guys. Your guys know their guys, and their guys know your guys. I mean, like are you setting yourself up here? Like, and because the thing is, the wisest thing to do in that situation, if you really believe that these people are the way they are, the best thing to do would be to remove yourself from the whole damn situation. Like Cameron Diaz, that stopped acting like for years. Well, she came back recently, but you got to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay the bills. So, but Cameron Diaz just quit acting as a whole. And you'd be surprised, but there's a lot of actors that quit acting as a whole. Like, they don't even do movies, period. Like, like Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz stopped making movies. Like, there's no B movies, no nothing. Um, and I feel like this is the reason why people should be more spiritual. Because let's look at Ashton Kutcher's case, right? Ashton Kutcher, like, did a whole thing. Like, he had like video evidence, and he showed it, and it was all over YouTube. And that's another conspiracy theory that Ashton Kutcher proved that was true. The whole pedophilia shit. So he's like, fuck Hollywood. But at the end of the day, he ended up with a situation where he was like, I gotta pay the bills. So he ended up going back. And I feel like that's what happens to a lot of people. Because you notice that there's not much you can do once you're on the other side. There's not that much support once you're on the other side. Neither. So I feel like spirituality should come in a stronger demand, because I feel like what happened was, in the cases of these people, is that they found themselves with no personal support system for how they're going to proceed in their lives now that this situation has happened. And now that they are not in that situation anymore, they need something else. They need to heal. They need to find their purpose in life again. And if you cannot find that on this earth, after going through hardship, you're gonna go back to the same negative cycle that you was in before. Because at least that negative cycle brought you a certain form of comfort, whether it was physical or monetary. So this is the reason why some of us needs to become better in our personal spiritual practice, because a lot of the knowledge that we hold, a lot of the knowledge that we hold, a lot of the intelligence that is given to us is actually needed and will be needed in the coming years, in the coming days and weeks and months and years. Why? Because a lot of people were living their lives one way for a long time. And now there is a spirit of the world coming to tell us that no, the way you were living was not the right way to live. And now here, let me show you the way that you are supposed to live today. And most people are trying to catch up. They're trying to understand it. They're trying to catch up. So you, if you're the chosen one, if you are a chosen one, your responsibility as of today is to study and practice, not to teach. Not yet, because we're not ready to teach yet. We're not ready to teach yet. So, chosen ones, people that consider themselves chosen ones, needs to practice and study. That goes ditto for me too. And that is what I'm going to do for the next couple of years, or couple of days, or couple of months. I don't know. But I am going to do the same. I am going to follow the same timeline everybody else is following. Because we have to understand that what we're going to have to deal with is very dark. These people are going to have problems that are difficult to deal with. So, and I'm not talking about celebrities, I'm talking about everyday people. There might be some celebrities that will end up joining the good side. That only time will tell. But for everybody else that was ingrained, because celebrities know a little bit that all of this is bullshit. They're witches too. But the general masses, it's a little bit worse, because the general masses don't even believe in magic. The general masses doesn't even believe in magic. The celebrities believe in magic, but the general masses don't believe in magic. I mean, so and magic is so almost so rudimentary, you know, not to say it in a pejorative term, but it's so, magic is so rudimentary, it's so normal, it's so cliche even, you know. So the general masses are not aware that magic is a thing. So in the coming years, like I said, in the coming years, when these people are gonna, when more and more people are gonna wake up, and they're gonna go through their own dark night of the soul, as they would say, I would call it their own apocalypse, and they will be reborn out of their own personal apocalypse. They will need guidance. And I believe that the chosen ones of this earth were put here to guide humanity to a higher state of existence, a better state of existence. You know? Because it is a higher state. We are living on a fifth dimensional level. We are omnipotent beings. We are capable of being at two places at the same time. We are omnipotent. But even though that's what you are, that doesn't necessarily make you what you are. So, like I have stated before, there's a lot of people that resist these teachings. They resist the learning, they resist the teaching, they resist the learning. And that's gonna have to, you're gonna have to comply. Like I said before, if you're not into study, you're not into study, you're not into those sort of things, at least develop your own style. Because right now, you have access to power. The spirit of the world has given humans access to power. So what that means is you are capable of tapping into an enormous amount of power that you can use and malleate in a form that you are comfortable using. And I guess that's the only thing I can ask from the general masses. To at least, if you feel like philosophy is too much of a dogma, then at least develop your own dogma, right? At least develop your own practice, because somebody might need your help. And if you cannot show him and explain to him how all this all works, it's going to damage that person. And you're not going to feel good about it either. And just it'll be a unnecessary failure. It would be an unnecessary failure. I mean, you do want to help. You do have a good heart. But right now the problem is you're hiding your good heart so you don't get hurt by people, and a lot of people are guilty of doing that. A lot of people are hiding their good hearts because they don't want to get hurt by other people because they've been hurt by other people before, and blah blah blah. But try to see it as giving yourself better karma. Giving yourself more good karma. Because it will be paid in kind. If you are capable of being there for the people that are waking up, it will be paid in kind. People will be grateful. The universe will be grateful towards you. The universe is grateful towards me. Yes, I go through hardship. I go through hard times. Bad things happen. But the universe actually greets me in kind when I do things. Because, mind you, yes, I did have a bad relationship. But I already found a new one. So, what was lost is now found again. So, it's I mean, I'm on the verge of having a new relationship. It's not, whatever. It's not quite there yet, but anyway. So and that's fine. And so the universe pays me in kind. And like I said, I don't I don't like saying these things, but I feel like I should say these things because sometimes I feel like people tell us to do things and they almost never tell us why. You know why we should do those things because it just feels like that sometimes. So since there's so many people that will say the same things that I say without giving you any incentive, I feel like there should at least be one person that would at least from time to time reminds you that somewhere down the line there is an incentive. Like so so I don't think I'm doing a disservice here. But I understand nobody wants people that are just there for the free cake. I understand that very well too. But sometimes, a little bit of incentive can, work a little bit of miracle. You'd be surprised when you get people motivated. They might be more inclined into studying. They might be more inclined to figuring out stuff. When they know that, of course, it's not a good thing. But when you know that, okay, if I finish this book, I'm gonna get a nice little cookie. You're gonna finish the book. Because you want the cookie. So yeah, it's just it's me. My bad, my bad. Um, but yeah, it's just it's an interesting the topic of conspiracy theories is a very interesting topic. It's actually very mysterious, very occult, very very it's very secretive. So um and it has a point. There's something there. There's something there. You can find something there. There's something to find. That's precisely it. There's literally something to find. Um, and the type of conspiracy that are out there are mind blowing. So so that's why I find it interesting that so much people are interested in conspiracy theories, but I feel like a lot of people are limited. They're capping. I feel like a lot of people are capping because it feels like most people stop at a certain amount. Like they stop at a certain level, or a certain amount of conspiracy theories. Because I went through the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. I went through the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, but I really went through the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. Something that I would not suggest people to do. Like it's better for you to read the conspiracy theories than to actually survive a conspiracy theory. So I know because I read, but I know also because I experienced it. So like uh it's just interesting to me that most people stop at a certain place because if you keep going, which is I don't encourage people to listen to conspiracy theories all day because it's gonna change the way you see the world. But if you're capable of detaching your mind from having an emotional reaction to the conspiracy you're looking at, it probably won't affect your point of view of the world as much. But you have to understand when you're looking at like Cuban Missile Crisis and fucking pipelines in Cuba and fucking Operation Blue Book and fucking Illuminati and fucking Masonry and fucking this and that and blah blah. Like you're gaining a lot of information, and that information is about the worldview, is about the world that you're surrounding yourself with. So the reason why I don't encourage people to just spend their days 24 hours to look up conspiracy theories is because if you change your the way you see life, you change everything. So you become, it's like it's like everything else. It's just magic. You know, it's actually magic. Conspiracy theories is like magic, like everything else. You know, it's like the Bible. If you read the Bible, at some point you're gonna become Jesus. You know, if you read conspiracy theories, at some point you're gonna become a conspiracy theory. You know, uh, what you perceive persists. You know, so that's why I would rather sit here and tell you, be Iron Man. That's why I would rather sit here and tell you, you have ice breath just like Superman. That's what, and I would rather you remembering that than all the bullshit I said before, because that right there, when I tell you you're Superman, when I tell you you're this, you're that, and you remember it, that's gonna change your reality, and it's gonna change your reality for the better because Superman is Superman. You know, like you know, Superman's fucking Superman. So you're not gonna, you know, nothing can hurt you. Uh, but if I sit here and tell you Jesus every day, somebody's gonna come around. A group of people is gonna come around and crucify you. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with conspiracy theories. It's no different. There's no difference. What you perceive persists. So if I sit here and tell you to go watch conspiracy theories for 6 hours straight every day, nonstop, for 3 years, some fucked up shit's gonna happen to you. You know, like like for real, bro. Like something fucked up's gonna happen. You're probably not gonna die or anything, but you're gonna see some shit. You're gonna hallucinate. You're gonna hallucinate. You're gonna see some shit that's not there. You know, and it is there, but it's not there. You know, it's there because you wanted it to. You worked so hard for it to be there that it's actually there, but it's not supposed to be there. It's not there. It's you that made it appear there. So, anyways, uh, but regardless, the thing about conspiracy theories, the thing is, if you go down the rabbit hole, like I said before, there's power at the other end. You got power at the other end. We're talking about alien spaceship. We're talking about, like, you know, photon beams. We're talking about, like, you know, super advanced nuclear devices. You know, we're talking about, like, the weird shit. We're talking about time travel. We're talking about, like, subconscious mental telepathy training. You know, how to hypnotize somebody, how to do telepathy, how to, you know, like, so most of these things are considered conspiracy theories because the people that studied it didn't want that information to come out in the first place. So it's interesting how most people are more interested in the World Trade Center killing 100,000 people than being able to create their own reality. Because I don't like telepathy; it's annoying. Um, create their own reality. That's cool. Creating your own reality, that's awesome. Telepathy is just being obnoxious. You know, just being a dick. You know, like, just, you know, straight up, like, you're just being a dick. You know, like, so uh creating your own reality, that's a power that's a lot more. I had a comic. I went to a comic book store one day, and I was looking at random comics that I'd never read before, and there was this one comic book with this dude standing there looking like Silver Surfer, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, like, so I picked it up. It was called Max Faraday, and the guy's name is Max Faraday. I don't remember his superhero name, but his name is Max Faraday. And Max Faraday found a something on a computer He found a program on a computer, and that computer gave him the power to create, to manipulate reality. Like he can create things. He can create things out of nothing. Like he's overpowered. Um, so he can create things out of nothing now. I just found it interesting that there was just this one comic book just standing there in the, just lost in nothingness. Like it wasn't even, you couldn't even, like you really had to look for it. Like, you know, and it was like there was only one issue, and it was in a bin somewhere. Like it was like, so I just found it interesting. So I picked up the comic book and I was like, what the fuck? Like it's talking about that shit? Like are you serious? Like so so this has been around for a long time. People were aware of this for a long time. Uh, and sad to say that the people that are above us know more about these things than we do. Almost. They know more about these things than we do. They might not practice, but they have more information on it than we have. They have more literature on these things than we have. They actually have all the literatures over these things. So a lot of people don't like to read, but maybe that's an over exaggeration. And I do understand why people don't like to read. It's boring, and I don't really feel like it can change your reality too. I don't feel like what somebody wrote 200 years ago necessarily applies to today. And most Western philosophy don't really apply to what's going on today. Most, not all of them, but most of them. So, um, you're gonna find more intellectual ideas in Western fiction than books that are supposed to be about those ideals, which I think is on purpose. Which I think is on purpose. Which I think it's a form of control. It's a form you're mixing, you're hiding the information by switching the names around. So you're basically playing musical chair with the knowledge of these things. Because one moment the knowledge of these things is in science, another moment it's in fiction, another moment it's in philosophy, another moment. So it's always fluctuating from one space to another, you know? Because there's a limit to what you can learn in fiction. And then there's a limit in what you can learn in philosophy. And believe it or not, there's a limit to what you can learn with science. So the trick is to try to find the pieces a little bit everywhere. Like Assassin's Creed, uh, the Apple of Eden. There's an Apple of Eden in Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. They're hunting the Apple of Eden. You know, and the Apple of Eden is always represented by two things: knowledge and sexuality and sex. So if you can believe that the apple means sex, you can believe that the apple means knowledge. You can even believe that the apple means sex and knowledge, or knowledge through sex, knowledge through what is carnal, knowledge through flesh, knowledge through the human experience, and not knowledge through exterior forces, you know. So, which is what we did, and which is what was supposed to happen, and what will always happen, regardless of what timeline, what existence, or how many times we come alive and die and come back. That situation will always happen because that is what must be in order for us to exist. So, just like in Assassin's Creed, we pick up pieces of the Apple of Eden, which, the Apple Eden in the game represents power to the Templars. The Templars consider the Apple of Eden as the ultimate source of power, and if they can get their hands on it, they could control the world, which they already have. They're just letting you know. They're just saying, by the way. You know what I mean? But like I said, you wake up every day, you eat some good food, and then you go out on an adventure, you find an artifact, you bring it back home. So that's what they did. But see, the thing is, uh, I don't believe that they hold all of the power. I believe that the power is still out there to be the power is still out there to be explored, maintained, controlled, manipulated, uh, you know, uh, understood. So the power is out there for us to understand it. So it's our job as an individual, because you can believe that there is an actual apple somewhere. Because when I say artifact, I'm not actually talking about an actual artifact. When I say artifact, I'm talking about a specific a set of knowledge, or a specific knowledge that is like far wide and beyond everything else you thought you knew before you knew this. Just like the people that watches my videos are actually getting themselves closer to finding an artifact. If you're the kind of person that watches my videos, if you're the kind of person that likes my videos, if you're the kind of person that understands my videos, then you will eventually, or you are already a beholder of maybe multiple artifacts. It depends. You got to know yourself. So, regardless, if you do or do not have any artifacts, and by that I mean knowledge, I mean higher knowledge, I mean very spiritual and divine knowledge, that is an artifact to me. Because it's not that easy to get, and it's almost an adventure when you do actually find it, and you're probably gonna face some enemies while you're trying to find it, and there's gonna be obstacles and enemies and traps and stuff like that. So knowledge like that is not easy to get. And when you do get it, which is very possible to get, you just need to be able to use your mind. It's not that difficult. It's a little bit dangerous, but if you're an adventurer, you're an adventurer at the end of the day. So a little bit of danger is not going to scare you away. So, regardless, uh, when you do go down that rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and that's your shit, you have to understand that there's a reason why all these things are happening. And the reason why all these things are happening, it's about power. Now the question you got to ask yourself, are you a player or are you a hater? Because at some point you're going to get confronted with that situation. You're going to get confronted with a situation where if you keep going down that rabbit hole, you're going to have to come out the other end, or else you're donezo. Or or you don't, or you just stay where you are, and this is the limit of what you can take, and you can't take anymore. So both choices, there's no right and wrong answer in this case. There's no right and wrong answer. Having a regular life and paying your bills, taking care of your children, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your children and taking care of your family. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's okay to do that. I just wish I could make your living situation a little bit better. That's what I wish. A little bit easier. A little bit less hard to do, to provide. So that's why I do what I do. So as I was saying here, I got off track here. As I was saying, what was I saying? What was I saying? You know, so there's people that take care of their family and everything. So that's all right. Um, so that's your limit. You stay there, and blah blah blah. But there's other people that will continue to be interested, and those people have to understand that what you're really looking at, because you're not looking at nothing. You're looking at something, but you have to understand what you're looking at. Because some people will stay stuck on one conspiracy. Some people are more biased towards conspiracies. Some people will stay stuck on one conspiracy, and that's the conspiracy they want to figure out, and that's it, and that's all. But all conspiracies could stem from the same place, and they're all started for the same reasons. It's a matter. There's always somebody that wants to control something. There's always somebody that wants to hide something. So at the end of the day, the reason behind all of this is power. The reason behind all of this is power. Now the thing is, what the secret here that I'm trying to let you know, the wink that I'm trying to give you right now, is the reason why that is. The reason why they're hiding this power is because it is actually accessible to the everyday man. This power is actually accessible to the everyday man. You see, there's a reason why the secret doesn't work. The secret doesn't work because it doesn't tell you all the information that you need to know in order for it to function. The secret is a doorway to this kind of knowledge. The secret is a doorway to this kind of knowledge. And the secret was a lie that they built to confiscate a world event that was happening. Because that happens a lot. And a man in my position, I get a lot of those happening. There's a lot of my ideas There's a lot of my ideas that are running around the mainstream right now. So I gotta keep it 100% original. I gotta keep it original. I gotta make original content. You notice I don't really repeat myself. I don't really repeat myself in my videos. I'm starting to make videos to repeat a little bit because I understand people won't watch all of my videos the whole hour or the whole 2 hour. So I try to repeat myself nowadays, but I don't really repeat myself. And I do that on purpose because other people are taking my content. Other people are talking about the things that I talk about. And they might not be what I've noticed is since I've been away, people haven't been talking about the content that I've been talking about a lot. So now the question is if I come back and start talking about those things, will everybody else will? I wonder. Um but like I said, there is power behind these things and this power is actually very accessible. Today I was watching a movie recap on YouTube. It was about Theseus and the Minotaur. Favorite story, favorite children's book. That was my favorite children's book when I was a kid. I used to read it. I used to read it next to my dad. My dad would I'd be like in the bed, and I would have that book. I used to borrow it from the school library. Theseus. I borrowed it from the school library all the time. Nobody read it, so I had it all the time. Yeah, I had it. I used to borrow it. I borrowed it so much times that at some point I didn't even need to ask. I just took it, and they already knew who had it. So 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 favorite children's book. Theseus and the Minotaur did a movie. I didn't know that. I didn't know they made a movie recently. Uh, but it's a very interesting book that I used to read when I was a kid. The reason why I was interested is because Theseus, if you don't know the story about Theseus and the Minotaur, is that Theseus has to run through a labyrinth in a cave. He has to run through a labyrinth in a cave, and there's a goddess, I think Athena. The goddess Athena gives him a ball of thread and a sword. So he has a ball of thread, and he ties up the ball of thread to the exterior of the labyrinth, so he doesn't get lost inside of the labyrinth. I always found that story interesting. How somebody felt the need to create a book about a man that walks through a labyrinth with a single needle of thread to keep him from not dying from starvation inside of that labyrinth. It's just very peculiar. It's an interesting story, and it always kind of molded my reality in some shape or form because I always looked at, I guess at a young age, I developed looking at society as a labyrinth. And it's very interesting because if you watch the movie, there's no labyrinth in it, but everything is built like a labyrinth. So it's kind of like the movie saying like they're perceiving society as the labyrinth, the world as the labyrinth, not an actual labyrinth. Like the world is the labyrinth, and Theseus, the hero of the story, is trying to find his way through that labyrinth, right? But the interesting part is that he has a way to get back home. So that's the interesting part. The interesting part, he has a way to, the whole time, he has a way to get back home. So is there any danger Is Theseus really in any danger? Because if the Minotaur is too strong, he could just run back. You know, he could just double back on his on his paces, on his footprints, and just get the f out the labyrinth. So is Theseus in any real immediate danger? Not really. No. Like he's not. He really isn't. Um, and that's interesting too. That's interesting too, because if you look at stories of the gods, you always have to fight this incredible monster where there's a high probability you're gonna die. Like there's a very high probability of you dying. So this story is a little bit different though. The story, this one, I feel like Theseus is one of the demigods that had a lot more help than everybody else. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like he had a lot more help than everybody else. Like he literally didn't. He had no obligation to fight the Minotaur. Uh, he could he could do whatever he want, but he did it anyway. He decided to go fight the Minotaur, and and he has. So the thing is, what I'm trying, and I feel like there's a spiritual meaning to that thread too. Because I feel like that thread is telling me, don't worry about how lost you can get. Because at the end of the day, there is something out here that will bring you back home. And that could be represented as your consciousness. It could be represented as a patron. It could be represented as many things. I believe that silver thread was Theseus's consciousness, and the labyrinth is the world, and his sword is his talents, know-how, and intelligence. So very interesting story. I just thought it was an interesting thing to see. How they built the cities like they were labyrinths, and backdrops like they were labyrinths, instead of making a movie where the guy walks into a labyrinth and kills a Minotaur, which they could have easily done too. Um. So, anyways, we're gonna stop the video right there. Um. There's more to come. Don't worry about it. And have a good one. Peace out.